In the early 20th century, a young man named Soichiro Honda developed a profound fascination with machinery. Born in rural Japan in 1906, historical accounts describe him as an energetic and inquisitive child, often found tinkering with anything mechanical. Evidence suggests his formal education was limited, yet his innate talent for engineering quickly manifested. By the age of 15, records indicate he left home to apprentice at an automobile repair shop in Tokyo, laying the foundation for a life defined by innovation and a relentless pursuit of speed. After years of apprenticeship and opening his own repair shop, Honda's ambitions turned to manufacturing. In the late 1930s, he established a company to produce piston rings, aiming to supply Toyota. Initial attempts, however, proved challenging. Records detail a period of intense struggle, with Honda famously returning to technical school to master the metallurgy required. His perseverance paid off. By the early 1940s, the company was successfully manufacturing piston rings for Toyota, demonstrating an early capacity for overcoming technical hurdles and achieving precise engineering standards. The devastation of World War II reshaped Japan and Honda's path. Faced with fuel shortages and a desperate need for efficient transportation, historical accounts note Honda's pragmatic response. In 1946, he acquired a batch of surplus two-stroke engines designed for generators and began attaching them to bicycles. This ingenious adaptation, a motor-assisted bicycle known as the A-Type, provided a practical and affordable solution for post-war mobility. Documents confirm this was Honda's first foray into powered personal transportation, a pivotal moment of transition for the future empire. The success of the A-Type laid the groundwork for a more ambitious vision. In 1948, Soichiro Honda officially founded the Honda Motor Company. Limited official records show this critical step was taken with the crucial partnership of Takeo Fujisawa, a businessman who complemented Honda's engineering genius with astute financial and marketing acumen. Biographers frequently cite this collaboration as instrumental, attributing Honda's early growth to their combined strengths. This union marked the formal beginning of a venture that would soon transcend Japan's borders, driven by the founders' clear ambition. Honda's ambition quickly turned to international competition, viewing racing as the ultimate proving ground for his engineering. In 1959, Honda entered the notoriously challenging Isle of Man TT race. Primary sources indicate this decision was met with skepticism, yet it underscored Honda's commitment to building world-class machines. After years of development and persistent effort, journalistic reports lauded Honda's first victory in 1961, followed by an unprecedented clean sweep in all 5 solo classes in 1966. This racing dominance firmly established Honda's reputation for superior engine technology and reliability on a global stage. Despite its motorcycle successes, Honda faced resistance from the Japanese government when it declared its intention to enter the automobile market in the early 1960s. Industry analysts observed that the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, MITI, attempted to restrict new entries. However, corporate archives reveal Honda pressed forward, launching the T360 mini truck and the S500 sports car in 1963. These vehicles marked Honda's critical transition, showcasing its ability to diversify beyond two-wheelers and challenge established automotive manufacturers with compact, high-performance designs. Honda's ambition extended beyond Japan. In 1959, the company established American Honda Motor Company in Los Angeles, initially focusing on motorcycles. Market research from the time demonstrated American consumers' perception of motorcycles as intimidating. Honda countered this with a groundbreaking advertising campaign, "You meet the nicest people on a Honda," which recast motorcycles as a friendly, mainstream mode of transport. This campaign, combined with the affordable and reliable Super Cub, transformed the American motorcycle market. Its success became a blueprint for later automotive entries, proving Honda's understanding of cultural adaptation and market penetration. In the early 1970s, strict new emissions regulations, notably the U.S. Clean Air Act, posed a significant challenge to the automotive industry. Rather than relying on catalytic converters, Honda pursued an innovative engine design, the CVCC, compound vortex controlled combustion engine. Engine performance tests confirmed that the CVCC, introduced in the 1975 Civic, could meet these stringent standards without additional emissions control equipment, a claim verified by EPA reports. This groundbreaking technology cemented Honda's reputation for engineering prowess and environmental foresight, providing a competitive edge during a critical period. By the late 20th century, Honda had transcended its origins as a motorcycle and car manufacturer to become a diversified global powerhouse. Financial statements consistently showed growth fueled by strategic international manufacturing plants, from Ohio in the U.S. to factories across Asia and Europe. The company expanded into power equipment like lawnmowers and generators, developed marine engines, and eventually ventured into robotics with Asimo. International trade data documented Honda's transformation into a multinational conglomerate, demonstrating a consistent ability to apply its engineering philosophy across diverse product categories and geographical markets. Soichiro Honda retired from the company he founded in 1973, stepping down from the presidency but remaining a revered figure. Public statements from the time quoted him emphasizing the importance of the three joys: the joy of buying, the joy of selling, and the joy of creating. Journalists praised his philosophy, which championed innovation, quality, and a commitment to customer satisfaction. His vision continues to guide the company, even decades after his passing in 1991. The Honda Motor Company remains a testament to one man's relentless spirit, his engineering genius, and his belief in the power of dreams.